Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown here with Ryan Graham.
Hey, y'all.
And this is State of Atlanta.
It sort of rolls weird.
Yeah.
But hey, y'all. I mean, I was sort of expecting like a comma and like more, but that was it.
Yeah.
That was the intro.
Interesting episode for us. Doing it, probably recording this the latest we've ever recorded during a week on a Thursday night. I think that Wednesday is the latest we've ever done something before, but, and then Tim couldn't make it, which is fine.
Honestly, I feel like a loser. You guys have been so busy this week that we couldn't do it any other day, and then we finally have at least two of us today. I could have done it any day this week, but it's because I don't
Yeah.
I don't really have other friends. So
It happens. It happens. Anyhow, yeah, it's been a long week for me. A long, fun week. Came back from the cruise and everything.
Yeah,
Just
man.
on a
How was
little
it? Was it good? Was the weather good?
fantastic. We booked for next year already. So go ahead
Hell
and get
yeah.
your calendars prepared for. I guess was it January 27th? We'll be doing unless you and Tim want to come with. You guys will be doing it without me.
Oh, that's fine. Whatever. Maybe by then I will be ready to go on a cruise. That'd be cool.
Drop a couple grand on a week of music, and the drink package is included. So I didn't see any PBRs on the boat. Just to let you know, doesn't mean they didn't have it. I just didn't see it.
When there's all you can drink liquor flowing, I can manage.
You can find something to power through with. Yeah,
It's really gin and orange juice.
yeah. There you go. The gin and orange juice.
Like if I'm
I
just
had
being
a
real,
mimosas.
gin and orange juice.
Yeah, there you go. Well, so we've had a few games that have happened since the last time that was it just you and me last time as well? There was Sim that was there last time. I can't even remember. It's been so long ago. It's been so long ago. We played at Marshall and won a game I was not expecting at all.
Was that our first away game of the year? I think
First conference away win, I think, or first away win period. Maybe first away win period.
I think it's our first away win period, but I was wrong about last year. But I feel like we just discussed it, and I was wrong about last year because I was right about this year.
Gotcha.
But I do think I think that was the first away game win, but then we went and did it again in at Appy. So,
well, you lost at Appy.
Oh shoot! Dang it! I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, never mind. And then we did exactly what we normally do, and we lost at Appy.
Exactly. Yeah, but that Marshall one was pretty impressive. I think that was I think it's like my first day on the boat or something, or second day on the boat, and I kind of checked the score, and I'm like, what the hell? I got to be on a boat in the middle of the ocean to get us to actually start winning an away game, because if I've got to do that, I am committed to being in the middle of paradise just to get Georgia State some wins.
Well, you should.
I will probably some financial assistance to help me do that.
I'll create get Georgia State to help you out, or just find some fans that are willing to sponsor you.
Yeah, we'll create a David's cruise Patreon level on the State of Atlanta thing, and so I can get somebody to buy us a win here and there that way. It's only weird if it doesn't work, Actually, it's weird if it does work.
Yeah, I was gonna say it can be weird regardless, man.
Yeah, but we were like a 12.5 point dog in that game, and came out there and won. I think we were up pretty big at the half, and then eked it out at the end, a 4-point game. But sometimes especially in basketball more so than football, I feel like the final score is not very indicative. A close game could have actually been a blowout lead that they just kind of turn the gas off, and then sometimes a big win isn't really that big of a win because of all the stupid fouling and crap like that.
Right.
But I didn't get to watch it.
It's hard to tell from just the score alone, but box scores usually tell a little bit of a story.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter what the box score was. We won the game. We got to win, and then at Appy, we'll lose another close one. I mean, these are both 4-point games.
Well, here's why the box score matters, because at Marshall, our shooting percentage was 61.8%, which is, I'm sure, well above average.
Very good.
Feels pretty high. 50% 3-point, which is that's cool. I'm cool with that. That seems fine. And then 88.9% free throw percent. So we were 8 for 9 in free throws. So you come together in those things that we typically just fall apart on, and you can win a game.
Yeah, I think
Crazy
talk. I think Cesar had like a good night as well, and he's been like quietly putting up some like impressive stats despite the losses we've had. He's been putting up some pretty good records across the season. So Brady seems to think that he'll get some All-Star honors. I'm sure it's more of a, I don't know. I don't want to speculate, but that's what Brady said. We'll see.
What does that mean? All-star honor? Oh, you
Or
mean
all
like
team or
all
all
team
Sun Belt,
conference?
or whatever they call it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's cool to see that. And then last night man, I passed the f out as soon as we got back here, and I caught a little bit of that score of the game around the middle of the second half, and then passed out. But we put the hurt on Monroe, which that was the game from the beginning of the season that we had kind of circled as, we don't know how good this team's going to be, but we should be beating Monroe in this matchup at home.
Yeah, 100%.
But
Yeah.
they've been
Sorry,
like little.
I'm looking at the stats for this now too.
Yeah.
So
No, I mean, so but they like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. They're a bad team. We were supposed to win the game. That cannot be said enough. However, they've beat, who was it? South Alabama, both meetings this year,
right.
like the teams that they were not favored in either. So they have the ability to do the upset, but they're 2-10 in conference. They're not doing good.
It's sort of a barometer on are we the worst in the conference? And I feel like the hurting we put on them is a definitive no. We're not the worst.
I think so too. I think that I think if we would have eked out a win, we were like, oh, okay, good. We were supposed to win that game, but to
If
do
it
it
was
in
like
the
a coin flip
fashion,
though, like if we won by like in the last seconds or just held on to it for, too
yeah,
long or something like that, but we killed them.
yeah,
So,
exactly. That's what we beat the team we were supposed to beat. We did it handedly. Didn't seem like there was any point where we were really, um, you know, you know, struggling for any part of it. So, yay, that's what it's supposed to be.
yeah.
That being said, we've won what is it? That's 2 of 3 games since we last talked, and all season long it's been nothing but the Hayes experiment has failed. We got a couple more wins now. We have was it, I think 6 or 7 conference games left. I can't do
Is that
math right
right?
now.
Man, I
Something
thought
like
we were
that.
even further. Our next game is in Buffalo. So,
Yeah, play at Buffalo on Saturday at 2. They're a
mhm.
pretty bad team. They're
We
only.
do well in the MAC challenge. So, I mean, I
I
feel
don't
pretty
think
good
we've
about.
lost a game in the MAC challenge at all.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So this is a
So,
one that, again, I didn't know really at the beginning of the season how we would look or how they would look, but you just want to win these types of challenges that are out there, and we're 3-0 in them so far. It'd be good to put a 4-0, but they're only 5-5 at home based off of some stats I looked up on online. We're leading them in points scored, rebounding, field goals, and 3-pointers. They're better than us at free throws, but
who's
all the
not?
stat.
I mean,
Yeah,
who is?
right.
So,
Oh, Monroe, obviously. So yeah, that should be another win possibly happening.
I think we should feel pretty confident about that. And these are the I know it's at Buffalo, and so it is a road game, but the road games that we have won have been these challenges really. And
Mhm.
then so the only other road game that we won this season, which we did win one this
Act
season, was the Jacksonville Classic against Tulsa. So
Tulsa.
it was in Jacksonville, but against Tulsa. So
They consider that a neutral site, so it's
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 still
it's a
we
road
travel.
game, but it's
I'll
not.
take it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
I
a
know on a technicality that's not an away game win, or I guess, but I think I'll count it. I
that
think
stat
functionally
column.
it's the
You
same thing.
just yeah, yeah. I mean, if we'd won a bunch of road games, then he's like, oh yeah, well we'll toss that one out because it was neutral site. But
Right.
considering we haven't really won any, no, we're claiming on to that one. We need that one.
I
We
think it's
that's
fair.
we got on the
I'm
road.
still calling for the coach to get fired, but but I think it's fair to give him some credit there. Like let's
So
not pile on too high there, even though the record's not great. But like there's 2 wins,
well,
not one.
so looking at the games we have, we obviously have Buffalo on Saturday, and then we have 6 more conference games. Uh, was it 4 of them to end the season on the road, and then ODU and Appy State next week, 2 weeks, whatever it is at this point. I don't know how to figure out when games are when we're recording on a Thursday and not a Tuesday. So that Buffalo game kind of just a one game in the week type deal. But looking at it, so Old Dominion, we've not played yet. So it's 2 games. We don't know how we're going to match up with them. Then we play Appy and Jimmy Madison, 2 teams we've already lost to. I think, yeah, for where they were. And then, but we have Coastal and Trash Down South, 2 teams we've already won. So we've gone 2-2 on the teams we've played so far. But there's a potential for 2-3 wins out there in the season. And if you end it like that, the standings are, crazy this year because you've got, what is it, 5 teams tied for second place, and then 5 of us tied for 8th place, and that weird, crazy bracket they have. If we put together a few more wins, it's possible that we're, top half of the conference in the standings.
That would be so sad for the Sun Belt.
I mean, it'd be nice to not be that team that plays in the very first game of the tournament, but if we win 2 or 3 more, and then we make a win or a two wins in the tournament, at minimum, is that going to be enough for Cobb to be like, all right, I guess we roll another year? He seems to have started figuring things out.
Well, you can't fire him if he makes the tournament.
Oh, the actual the NCAA tournament.
No, it was a joke because everyone makes
Oh,
the tournament.
maybe
It,
makes the conference
it
tournament.
was
Yeah,
yeah, that was the
you,
joke. Sorry, that's
you,
why I know that was an uncomfortable pause for a podcast, but it was a very purposeful uncomfortable pause.
I mean, just so you said you still think the right decision is to move on, really, no matter what happens.
Yeah. I think they should have done it some games ago. I think they should have done it. Frankly, before we. I think we should have done it before we even entered conference play. But a couple games into it, we knew what was what.
Yeah, yeah. I said back then we had like those 4 home games or whatever it was early in conference play, and I was like, we win 2 or 3, maybe you roll a bit longer. But I think that if we lose more than that, then we should be out. And of course, we won 2 of them, so I guess I was obligated to stay with my convictions. But
Now
I
you can
felt,
change your mind. You're allowed.
but I just feel like, considering that the buyout is no different if they do it mid-season or at the end of the season, I still think that it was the right decision. I like the look that it gives to the program to not accept that type of a performance. I am afraid, though, that if we win 2 or 3 more games, even and then even lose in the first round of the Sun Belt tournament, that Cobb will take the easy out and just roll with it for another year. But
You know
who
what I'm
knows?
more afraid of?
What's
We
that?
lose all of them, and we still keep them, which I don't think that's a non-zero chance.
Yeah. What are the chances that we lose out completely and he still comes back next year? You think that is that like a 5% chance, a 50% chance? Like, how likely, effectively, how likely do you see Coach A's being gone at the end of the season?
It's hard to tell, man. It's hard to tell. But
Yeah,
also, we're going to beat TDS, so not
we
worried about
should.
that part. Not worried
Yeah,
about that one.
that's the last game of the regular season. Uh, I feel like we play that one there more often. That when we play the home and away with TDS, and it's at the end of the season, I feel like we're there more. I haven't looked it up, but I feel like I just have a negative bias towards Sunbelt scheduling. So I assume if I don't like the way the
Wait, what?
schedule is, they probably did it intentionally against me.
And multiple times
Yeah. Yes, multiple times on purpose.
about
Yes.
you. Yeah, it's because you talked to Keith Gill in the suite
Well,
that
they
one
were
time.
messing it up well before that. I don't think I brought the scheduling to him. Did I bring the
I'm
scheduling
pretty
up?
sure that's one of the things that you brought up. Yeah.
Asking that what the size of the staff is, works on schedules over
Look,
there.
man, he should know. I mean, he should know that the scheduling has
He
been
didn't say a word.
stupid.
He said nothing to us,
I
to
know.
me.
I know. Well, yeah, and me too, because I was with you. So
Yeah, we were inebriated. It
guilty
was
by
okay.
association here. That's fine. Okay. Like I said, it was some hard truths. You weren't out of line, you know? You didn't like say
I
you
don't
didn't
think
lie. You
so.
didn't lie about
I,
the Sun Belt.
no, I think that I may have been a little aggressive in my ask, and I was obviously visibly inebriated. That being said, I think that I've had the similar conversation with other people in similar positions of authority, and they handled it way more PC, way more, you know, coach speak or political talk, however you want to phrase
Yeah.
it. They had their way around it. Like I specifically, I talked to the what do they call the people that are in charge of soccer teams? Are they called coaches? Or are they called
Managers?
managers? Manager? Yeah, I
I think
talked to
they're
whoever the manager was of the United or the United, whatever that stupid team name is called. The at the announcement party of what because we were going to be founding members and have season tickets and all that jazz. And I hate the team name United. And I was drunk there at that party and I was talking to him. I had the opportunity to talk to him and I told him I didn't like the name. And he just smiled and laughed because he was drunk too, because he was an Irish guy, Irish soccer guy. So definitely drunk at a party. And he just kind of brushed off, oh man, it's a great name. You know, it's a name used in a lot of big program, blah, whatever. He just had a way to spin it and just laughed it all off. Like I'm not
Yeah,
gonna,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure
yeah.
he's heard it too. I mean, lots of people were like, "What? What did we do that for?"
Yeah. The
United
unites.
FC. We're an SC. Just
Exactly.
just putting it out there. Like it's MLS, not not you know
Not
what I mean? Like
MLF,
yeah,
which oh
exactly.
my
Like
god, could
I
you
don't
imagine
understand.
if the league name was MLF and all the MILF references they'd have?
That'd be I mean, they should do that. And then our FC would make sense. So it'd
There
be
you
it'd
go.
be even better, like a double whammy. Like we could make all the pieces fit together.
I would have never worn a T-shirt or a logo of anything that was the conference or the league. I was like, I don't have like an NFL shirt or I don't have an MLB shirt. If they changed MLS to MLF, I would probably find a MILF shirt to wear. I
Yeah.
think that'd be pretty cool because I'm a 47-year-old teenager.
Yeah, meals for you are, it's a
She's just like my wife.
they're actually younger than you, so
Mother, exactly.
it's not we're not talking
With older
cougars
kids.
here. We're talking like 20 somethings. So
Yeah, legal by all. Yes, yes, and with older children than I actually have, which is the weird thing, probably. So,
Mhm.
but no, no, my wife is the only MILF for me. Just on the record, making sure that's out there. No questions. Not saying anything else. So, yeah, he could handle it better. I don't even know how we got onto that topic, but yeah.
What? We can hand oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, is that it for basketball, right? I mean, I feel like
Well,
we
there's
talked
I
about
mean,
it
not
for
that
longer
doesn't
than
really
we
apply. There was some news I saw today that kind of applies to a conversation we had with I think it's Doug with the basketball program when we were down there in the hospitality asking why we didn't have the Capital City Classic, that MTE, in the building this year, and we played in Jacksonville instead of having one here. And he explained to us that there's, the first one I think there was a somebody else put on, and then another one we managed, and there was just this rule about within the NCAA that you can't play in the same tournament more than once in 4 years or something like that. Well, that has been overturned or revoked, how whatever the terminology is for that.
interesting.
So they'll, but I think it's just for this year. So I don't know if that means they really have some teams they want to get back into some tournaments they had last year or whatever. But maybe it's a see how it goes type thing and go forward. There, some people, based off the comments I was reading about it, some people are for it, some people are against it. I thought it'd be kind of cool for us to be able to be in a situation where we could host a tournament in Atlanta every year because we have the luxury of being in a major city, unlike a lot of other programs. And you're not going to get people that flock to Boone, North Carolina every year for an MTE, but you could get people in Atlanta every year for something like that. We could probably turn it into some bigger programs that, maybe don't get a chance to play in Atlanta, like a, Big 10, Big 12 team or something like that.
Yeah, and get some good, like, corporate sponsors from people headquartered in Atlanta. I mean, we always talk about it for Georgia State in general, but, like, this should be a little bit easier because it's not like, "Hey, you're supporting Georgia State, you're supporting this tournament now."
That
That is,
we're
like,
just going to put
bringing
ourselves in
extra
every
people
single
into
time.
Atlanta and all that stuff, so you're, like, creating an event in Atlanta, like, this is a good thing. So, yeah, maybe I
Yeah.
mean, that'd be cool.
Yeah. I mean, some of the, cons of the whole thing where like it could turn into a situation where you have like the same MTE every year in certain places. It's the exact same 4 or 6 teams or something, and it kind of gets could be repetitive, or it could be something that becomes a tradition and people like,
Well,
which I think
that's the
is
thing, they call them classics, right?
yeah.
How is
First
it
year
a
we had
classic
it.
is a new thing every year? I've never heard of this. Why are we calling it a classic? But like, if you build it up every year, it's part of the schedule. Now it is a classic to that fan base, and so now you are looking at it as like this is what we do every year. We've got the
Well,
whatever classic, and yeah,
we
go
should
ahead.
get Magic City to be the sponsor. They're going to be the Magic City Classic
Yeah.
instead of the
Mhm.
Capital City Classic, and
Free
I think
ticket
that would
wins for
probably
everybody.
draw some people in.
Lemon pepper wet. Let's do it. Let's go.
So I thought that'd be kind of interesting. There was another rule or something going that they passed as well, and I can't remember what it was. Apparently, I didn't write it down.
Well,
But yeah,
I found a rule thing that I was gonna bring up.
okay.
It's more about football, but it does apply to basketball. But, there's a Senate bill at the Georgia State House to make NIL funds exempt from income tax.
Oh God,
So, and it's geared towards Georgia. It's being
of course.
called the, Kirby Smart bill, even
Mm-hmm.
though Kirby Smart apparently has nothing to do with it. It's just, politicians sorta glomming on and
So
trying to help.
my first question is: does it apply to all NIL athletes at all University System of Georgia?
Yes.
Okay,
NIL
that's the
money
kicker.
in Georgia, it would apply to us as well. It would apply to everybody. It applies to Georgia Tech, TDS, all of them. And the idea is that if the NIL money is getting taxed, you get offered $1 million in Georgia, you get offered $1 million in Texas, where there's no income tax. You go
Uh,
to Texas because you're going to make income
yeah,
tax plus. That's
yeah.
money that's in your
It's a
pocket.
sales pitch that a lot of NFL teams on the West Coast, or sorry, a lot of NFL teams in these no income tax states or lower income tax states make against teams in California. They're like, yeah, you can be offered $35 million there or $28 million here, and you're making more money.
This is what the true offer is after tax.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Um,
Yeah,
and basically
I mean,
they
I
cited
think that
Texas
you and I
and
are on the
Tennessee
kind of
making the playoffs, and saying, "Oh, well, they don't have income taxes, so they had well, not an unfair advantage, but an advantage in that arena."
right. And I know that you and I are kind of on the same page with all this kind of stuff, and I don't want to get too far deep into it. But the second thing that comes to my head is my employer pays income taxes, I pay income taxes, and I want to take that double taxed money, then give it to somebody who's not going to pay taxes on it. So
I well, in that case, it would be like triple tax, right? So
right, yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
you get to it and yeah, I get frustrated about this stuff because I'm like, "Hell yeah, let's have people not pay taxes," but this is geared towards not like even your like regular everyday player. This like isn't really even though it's gonna impact Georgia State, right? Georgia State NIL players will also not have to pay this income
Right,
tax, which is great, but the amounts we're talking are way lower. So it's probably not as big of a deal here. But at Georgia, you're talking about like we just said $1 million. They're driving around campus in Lamborghinis and stuff, and we're gonna say, oh, you're driving in a Lamborghini, you don't have to pay taxes.
right.
I don't know, man. I just don't like it. There's something about it that bothers me. Like, like the state capital, like is Brandon Beach, I think, is the person who's
Well,
sponsoring it. Like, kill the income tax for everybody. Why are you going to kill it for these millionaires? Kill it for us too.
can we also then claim a tax deduction on all NIL contributions?
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
that'd make me feel a little bit better about it. Like, if they're not gonna pay taxes on it, then I don't wanna be paid the money I'm spending, I don't wanna have been, taxed in the first place.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Whatever, man.
So that's
I just
interesting.
yeah.
I had not heard of that.
It's new the
It's
last couple. I mean, we're right in the middle of the session. There's only 40 days of Georgia session every year to get bills done at all. It's not 40 continuous days, but there's a
right.
40 legislative days a year in Georgia, and we're right in the middle of it. So I think it's new the last day or two.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously, I've been kind of, tuned out, for the past, week and a half, so I had not heard about that. But something definitely to keep an eye on, and, Georgia being what they are, I could see this being something that gets support throughout
I
the
think it'll
state.
pass, and I'm not gonna be mad about it. It just like I said, it just doesn't quite sit right with me about giving tax breaks to people who are getting a bunch of money.
Just make sure that my NIL contributions are now, tax deductible as well. to go along with that.
I think one thing that everyone politically can agree on is that the middle class gets screwed.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think
And
there's a lot
so
of
here we
people.
are getting screwed, the middle
Yeah,
class.
there's not a lot of people that, I think would really there's very few universal truths across the political spectrum, but I think that's about as close to one
Yeah,
as you could possibly get.
that's right. Left, right, anywhere in between, somewhere off in outer space, the middle class
Yeah.
still gets screwed. I did have one other thing. Look at me. I thought I was gonna be doing this on, yesterday without you, so I actually prepared a couple things. But, there was like a recruiting article. It wasn't like a recruiting article. It was a grade of, Coach McGee, and
Okay.
it's like it's kinda off-season stuff, I think, but I just it struck me that they were pretty high on McGee and our future still. Like they just went through and they were like, yeah, Georgia State lost a bunch of games, and they weren't great, and
Right.
but we were in a lot of those losses, like all the way to the end of the game. And AD Coach AD McGee has been recruiting really well. He's still got a lot of energy in the program, and so they were just high on him. And then they also talked about Vandy. They were like, Bama couldn't even do it, and Georgia State beat Vandy. So
How much do you think of those recruiting? Because when I read those types of things, obviously these people are, their jobs are to write these things. They're like weathermen. You never know until it actually happens whether they're right or wrong. But how often do you think that it's like based off the person that did the recruiting, and they look at McGee and he's well liked throughout the coaching spectrum and everything, and just a good guy in general, that there's kind of like, you know what? Normally, I may not be rating Georgia State very high on this recruiting class, but I think that, I know McGee, or, he's a good guy, or he's been with Georgia. He's won some championships, going to give him the benefit of the doubt. This guy, I would have rated him of this, but I would want to rate him of that, or something like that. You think that,
yeah, I
that,
don't know.
that type-
I'll take it though.
yeah. Yeah.
Chicken and egg problem, I guess. I'll take the good press. Like recruits are going to see that and say, "Look, hey, yeah." He can even put that in front of recruits and be like, "Look, the media is sitting here saying, yeah, yeah, we lost some games, but like this program is being shined right now. Like we're on our way up.
On the
It's not
rise.
like that."
Yeah.
And so there's a
Yeah.
little bit of a little bit of proof you can put in front of people to say, "Hey, look, it's not all doom and gloom." Now, I remember sitting in the stands being like, "If we even win this game, I'm still going to be upset because we don't deserve to win this game."
Yeah.
Even the ones that we were in, I guess, until the end. So, I have a little bit of frustration with some of that, and I think that we probably could have been better. But I do still generally have high expectations for the future of the program under Coach AD McGee. Like I think
I
he
think
can turn it around.
I think maybe we may have made too light of a situation of what happened with Coach Elliott leaving when he did and how he did. And then, McGee was such a, great hire,
Mhm.
not just, being somebody that came from Georgia with multiple championships, his son being on the roster, the type of turnover that he did do in that very short amount of time. Then, we beat the FC, we lost the Tech, we beat the FCC, we beat Vandy, first Power Five win, Power whatever win inside of our stadium. We were feeling really high about it, and then the wheels came off and everything went to
Yeah, we know
pieces.
the rest. You don't have to remind us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um,
So,
yeah, the other interesting thing they talked about though was kind of I think they said like 48% of our offensive production came back, which sounded like they said it like that was a high thing.
for
But
now,
that well, that was came back last year
okay,
amidst with all the losses. So like they were just talking about the season that we just had. But that Darren Granger was a big missing piece. I might disagree, but that's also neither here nor there. But what I found out was that he was playing for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He got onto the roster and then I guess retired recently.
right. But then
I
but but he unretired or something? Is he not on the team at all?
I think he's not on the team now, is what
That's
I've
weird.
kind of like. It was really hard to piece together news because I guess nobody cares about the CFL. So, um,
Not even in Canada.
like some things were saying he was Winnipeg in some places, and then one article I found that was clearly AI generated and had some mistakes in it said that he retired and he's not listed on the roster. So I think
Maybe
he
he
is.
did. Yeah, I thought that he had like retired and then got picked and he got picked up by somebody. I thought it was the other way around, but we saw that was a kind of a drunken glaze off the boat, checking our State of Atlanta group chat and
Oh, yeah.
everything. So I kind of may have misunderstood that. But along the same lines, Nick Arbuckle got re-signed,
Well, good.
Grey Cup
He
MVP.
won the cup for him.
Yeah, he won the national their championship as the
Their
MVP. He
their
should
Super
be.
Bowl, right? I mean, it's
Yeah,
like the CFL
it's the
Super Bowl.
equivalent.
Yeah, he won that. That's awesome. And
Yeah,
again, no one
and
cares about the CFL, but like that's cool.
that's awesome. Great
It's gotta count, man.
Oh, for sure. And then, I mean, it's a good paycheck for a while, and then just adds to his resume when he moves on to the next level of coaching, and all the experience he gains from everything. He'll be there. That's awesome. Along the same lines of talking about former Panthers, Dan Ellington, who was the OC at a Mississippi junior college last year, got hired on at Illinois as an assistant wide receivers coach. And in the press release, I saw he commented about his fiance Angela. I did not know he was engaged, so that's
Nice.
awesome for him. But yeah,
Congrats,
he said
man.
they're excited about Champaign. They're excited about what's going on there. Coach had a lot of great things to say about him. So, good for him. Just
That's moving up, man. That's I mean, that's a is Illinois in the Big Ten?
Big Ten.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. I
I
think it's
mean,
Big
that's
Ten.
so that's a pretty big jump. That's cool. I mean, he was a position coach here, and then he moved down to community college, basically, and then now he's up to
Moved down to community
foreman.
college, but he moved up in title to offensive coordinator. And
Yeah,
obviously they're citing his bullet points of his resume, but they said that he liked that he had coordinator experience at the junior college level, so that they can get it. And it is a assistant wide receivers because he's not wide receivers coach, and they like that he has the ability because he coached tight ends and running backs here at different points of
I
his
think that's right.
stint.
That sounds right.
Yeah, so they like that he had the ability to come in and be able to be a versatile coach they could use there. But yeah, no, it's great. Once you get into that power level,
He's
you know
basically a running back here, so
yeah, well, yeah, but he has the career high percentage completion percentage for Georgia State
nice,
quarterbacks,
nice.
62-ish%, I think what it was. They
Yeah,
said
I
in the
mean, he knew how
article.
to
So
bomb it for sure.
yeah, I mean, hey, man, that
I
first year,
forget, Dan, I hate this, but Darren Granger, sort of like is a to me, he's like a oh my god, I'm gonna say things that are terrible. I hope I don't piss people off. He's like a poor man's Dan Ellington.
see,
Um,
I would have said Dan Ellington light.
oh yeah, okay, all right, yeah, exactly. Like he's Dan Jr.
He's like
Um,
Dan Elling pound. He's not a full ton.
yeah,
He's just a
okay,
Dan Elling
yeah.
pound.
And so it sort of waters down. Like I forget how good Dan Ellington was. Like he had that he had an amazing arm. He yeah he was really good.
Yeah, so while I don't disagree with you with that, I think that also it's worth stating, for Darren is he had a better career with
Yeah,
Georgia State. He
definitely.
played in more games and had more because Dan that 2019 season was fantastic until he got injured and he still played because he's a machine. But his first
He
season was
still
only a
played a
two
lot better than
wins.
a lot of our quarterbacks have. So
Yeah, exactly. He won a game on a
with
bum
a
leg.
torn ACL. Come on, man.
but like, but that first season that he was here, we won 2 games. So like, I think that I don't know what exactly it was that changed for him or anything between the first and second season. But if he'd had even half the success of like a 4 or 5 win season versus that 2 win season, I think it changes a lot of everything, a lot of his stats and everything. But still, awesome dude, great dude. Very
Yeah,
excited for him.
definitely. That's why I really didn't want to. I didn't want to sell it that way. But like, my memory is trash. My memory just. I mean, it really does suck. And I just go back and I start trying to remember Dan, and I get flashes of Granger, and I'm like, I feel like they're very similar. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
man,
think
I think Dan was
we've really had 4 legit quarterbacks at Georgia State: Dan, Darren, Nick, and Connor. And I
how
think
dare
that
you leave Star Jackson out?
well, if he would have taken a snap, I would have
If
maybe
he,
allowed him.
if he only made that freaking bus.
Well, who knows? Georgia State luck. If we would have
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
lost even more. We would have gone negative games instead of just winning 0. Who knows? But but he didn't end up anywhere. I mean, do you know where Star Jackson ended up afterwards and what he did? Because I don't think he did anything afterwards. Maybe the bus thing was a blessing in disguise. Who knows?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't
But
mean to
no,
sidetrack
no.
you.
I think I don't.
For the 4 quarterbacks we've had, yeah.
I don't think anybody would ever dispute that because, like, everybody else, I mean, with Drew Little, I think would probably be number 5, I don't know, maybe 6, Bo Schlechter, but even then, it's those 4 guys. Those 4
Name
guys,
them again. Say them again. I was on another thought while you were saying them.
Dan, Darren, Nick, and Connor.
Connor. All right. Okay. All right.
Connor Manning.
I know. I know. I know. I'm just that one's very vanilla for me, and I hate saying that too. Gosh, vanilla is so tasty and
You're just
wonderful.
trying to get yourself in a lot of trouble tonight, aren't you?
Well, vanilla.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Connor, but I think, give him his credit. He got us our first bowl win. He played pretty well for us for 2 seasons. I went on to play. I mean, and I don't like to give credit to what they do when they leave Georgia State, but he went on to have a pretty good career in European League, or at least played for a little bit. But no, Connor is definitely. And you can put him 4 on your list.
I could see any new quarterback that comes in and starts as potentially replacing Darren and Connor on that list pretty easily and having just an average season doing it. Like what we
That's
would
fine,
expect from an average season. Nick and Dan, I think are gonna be tough to like
right?
that's gonna take some truly great play
Yeah,
to like
because Nick
replace.
has like the yard record. He threw for like, I think it was like 17 or 19 million yards or something like
That
that.
dude
It
was
was ridiculous.
nuts. That dude was nuts. Yeah. His arm was just I mean, and he was his football IQ, like, just on the field, like, when he would just see things, he'd change things up, he'd call plays, he was I don't know, we're not gonna see another Nick for a while, but that's
Hopefully, we see exactly Nick on the sidelines coaching one day.
I hope so. Yep.
Yeah, I am excited. Obviously Dan coached for us as a position coach for a while, but I'm excited. Whenever we finally get a head coach that comes in that was a Georgia State player alum, I think that'll be exciting.
Yeah. They'll understand a lot of the things that were going on that, like, even the coaches while they were here might not have understood about, like, what life is like at Georgia State, right? I mean, we
Or
know
if we
we know
want
Sean
to,
didn't know what life is like at Georgia State, so
or if we want to make Jesse Mentor the head coach.
oh god. But he's just he skipped us. He just
I know.
he did too well, you know? I was like, "Slow down, Jesse."
Again, not wanting to pull the curtain on Adele McGee. I'm just saying, at some point down the road, when McGee takes us to the national championship and Mentor wants to come in and repeat,
Not
and
not
Celtics.
only was Minter's defense the best defense we've had, it was the most fun to watch. It was such a
Mhm.
good I mean, it was awesome, man. I loved it, and it was noticeable, like, how different it was than what maybe even your typical Sun Belt team was putting together, what our typical defense was putting together. Mentor just, like, came in, shook things up, it all worked. We put pressure on the offense, like, you just
You're
every play, you just put pressure, like, "Screw it, we're not gonna come off, we're not gonna be safe, we're not gonna do this, like, be we're just gonna go after the ball.
physical,
Just go
physical
after the ball."
football.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stop playing off the damn ball. You remember, like, in the first couple years under, what's his face, Coach,
Miles.
no, Bill
Oh, Curry.
Curry, we'd play, like, 10 yards off the damn ball on defense, remember? We'd be like, "Why are we lining up on
Because
the first down line? Like, what is happening?" Every
guys couldn't
play.
run that fast back in the 20s when Curry was playing ball, so he thought that you had time to
I don't know
stop him.
what it was. Good god, somebody should have told him. He's like,
Yes.
"That's where you gotta stand when there's bees and glass in the field when you're practicing, and that's what we've had to do because we didn't have a field in Magnanimous,"
We didn't
and
own a football.
I'm just
When
saying
I when I
words. Yeah.
when I started here, we didn't own a football.
There was a player running, there was a syringe hanging out of his foot. I didn't say that, but that's
Yeah,
what I
don't say that.
imagined.
Don't say that. We're gonna get busted for some kind of drug testing stuff or steroids
That
or something.
player is gonna get in trouble, that's all.
No, they'll hold us accountable. Not us, but Georgia State accountable. Let's see. Do I have anything else? There's only Trash Down South re-signed their football coach to a 5-year, $1 million a year extension,
Was he
which
good? Did he win some games or
I
something?
think he has at
I
Trash
wanna
Down South.
Google it.
I think he has under a 500 record. I think it's like 19-21 or something.
Nice. Yeah, good for them. I love
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
This is a great hire. This is a good extension. I'm glad for you guys.
Lifetime contracts are not out of the question. They can go ahead and just put him in there forever.
Why
No,
not?
the Sun Belt board had, I'll be generous and say a mixed bag of opinions from Trash Down South fans, but there was a lot of Sun Belt fans out there, other teams saying, "Good, we love that. We love this hire. This was a good one. This is a real good one." And plenty of the Trash fans that were not happy about it. So I did that put a smile on my face, and that's why I
Yeah, yeah,
wanted to
when they're
talk
not
about it.
happy, you know it's good.
Exactly, exactly. Whenever a Georgia State fan is happy, I'm happy. Whenever a Trash on South fan is not happy, I'm also happy.
Yeah, it's great. I know there's good news somewhere in there.
Exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. The only other thing I forgot about this one, I don't know if there's even much to talk about, but it's just nice to hear. The park is finally going to get another concert, a big music festival, the Breakaway Music Festival, this May. So
Breakaway Music Festival, huh?
I do not know a name of a single. They have a lot of artists playing. It's a big touring music festival. It looks like the headliners changed from when they moved from town to town, but they're
Oh.
doing like 12 shows in 12 months this year or something. I just don't know of any of them. Obviously, it was not made for me, but I'm happy to see that we finally got another concert going in there.
What kind of music is this? Is this like
I honestly, I
electric?
don't know. I could not tell you. I
Chris
don't know
Lake, Illenium, and Zed are our top 3 bill, it looks like.
Yep.
Man, I've never heard of any of these people.
But
Alice Alicent, Blanca, Cyclops, Disco Lines, Dennett, Dr. Fresh,
but see,
It's
but then
Murph.
I went to the Breakaway Music Festivals, like, their page where they have the other concerts, and there was a couple of shows where I actually had heard of bands, like some of the headliners. So I don't know what they're doing, but there was a there
Are they DJs? Is it a like one of those like, what you
no,
call?
because there was definitely a band name listed in one of the shows that I saw.
I
So,
scrolled down a little bit and it looks like Rave Girls, which I'm not super mad at.
yeah, I've got no idea. I did find it interesting on the website of Breakaway Music Festival when it listed the location, the big, like, splash page that has the artwork on it, it said Center Park Stadium, Victory Plaza.
Yeah, Victory Plaza. Maybe it's out front.
I don't I that would be weird, wouldn't it?
It'd
To
be
have that
super weird. I mean, it'd be weird as shit. Oh, man.
but there
But
seems to
but
be
I
some,
bet but I bet somebody from our athletic department just told them that's
well,
some I don't know,
they
man.
they they saw I'm sure the music festival is, told them how much money they expect to be bringing in. There was not a lot of Twitter response to the announcement that was posted, but there was one guy who said, "Oh my god, that lineup looks awesome. I hate that I'm gonna be in Europe." So we miss it, but, like,
Oh,
some
so
of some of
this is rave then. He's gonna be in Europe at a rave probably.
yeah, I know, I was wondering if that was maybe but like I said, there was another band, I can't remember what it was, it sounded like they were good or whatever.
I bet this is just a rave.
It's 2 days. It's a 2-day rave,
Nice. Wish I was
16th
still
and
in the
17th.
neighborhood.
Right. You just go on your back deck and just enjoy the tunes.
Well, I bet I wouldn't, but I could go people watch.
Oh, it says Victory Plaza on this one too. I didn't realize that.
We could still go people watch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah, just go hang out.
We just go tailgate. I feel like
Exactly.
there's an event at Center Park. This is what we do. We just
So we're it's like
do smash
it's like I
burgers.
went there was back in the late '90s, there was a music festival at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and I don't remember everybody that was there, but I remember The Offspring was there because I had one buddy of
Mhm.
mine that would never go to concerts with me unless The Offspring was there, and he was so pissed off that
Wait,
he had a
wait,
gr
wait, he wouldn't go to any concerts unless Offspring was there.
I
Okay,
was really
sorry,
big
the
into going
Offspring.
to, concerts back then, which is why I was so digging the '90s cruise that I was just on because seeing all these bands again, and so I would go every week to a different, show, whether it be here in Atlanta or go visit my Athens buddies and go up there and stuff, and I always wanted him to go with me. We were buds, but he just had no interest in concerts, but he loved The Offspring, so I was like, "Alright, The Offspring's coming to Atlanta Music Speedway." He's like, "God damn it, alright, I'll go." Whatever. My
They
point of
are
telling the
cool.
story
That's a good band.
Oh, yeah. My point in telling the story was that when I was there at the Speedway watching all these bands, and this was like a 2-day festival too, was it really seemed like there were some people in Hampton, Georgia, like, "Let's go see what's going on at the Speedway this weekend," and just went out there, and there was some definitely NASCAR country bumpkin people that had no interest in the music, but just wanted to be there and drink beer at the Speedway, and I feel like that would be us at Georgia State events, like, we don't care what's going on here, we just wanna hang out at the Georgia State Stadium.
Yeah. We just I'm gonna say this again as like a hint, hint, nudge, nudge. We just brought the Blackstone and doing some smash burgers out here, pounding some PBRs and
You
some
are you are
wild
the
meat.
second you are the second Georgia State person today to ask me about doing some smash burgers.
I've been trying them out at home. I don't have all the parts for it, so it's not been as
You
good.
need a hot plate, some beef, and 2 spatulas.
I mean, I got a big 12-inch griddle. I'm just not doing it. It's just they tighten up a lot.
Yeah, you gotta get it right. We'll work on it. We'll work on it.
Yeah.
I'll bring it out. I'll supervise. The whole question was if I would do smash burgers for the last home game for basketball this year, coming up in a week and a half or whatever it is,
Mm.
and maybe we'll do the smash burgers, but I'll have you cook everything, and I'll just stand there, drink, and supervise.
Oh, wow. Yeah, see, I'm not no, no. I see what you're doing here. I don't think I'm into it. February 15th is, Saturday is the against Appy is the last home game, it looks like.
Yep.
Good god, then we're just away a bunch. You schedule people were right.
I've been saying this exact same thing all season long. From the moment the schedule came out, I've been saying this. And by
Look,
the way,
it's like a month until we're gonna be no, it's like 2 weeks. It's fine.
but yeah, just so you know, now that you're getting into the schedule frenzy,
Whoa,
is
whoa, yeah,
March
don't,
1st.
don't, don't.
Pencil your calendar for March 1st. That's when we have a schedule release for the football schedule. So
Oh, can you say schedule a couple more times? Just I'm not
apparently, I can say it as many times as I want to. I think that is it for me tonight.
Yeah, we did well. Oh, so no last call either, right?
I'll hang out and shoot this shit for a minute, but I think no
Yeah, let's
last
talk
call.
about your cruise a little bit. Tell me about it on last call. We can, I don't know, you tell me if you got any info or not.
We'll do that. We'll do that. All right. We'll do last call. Find it on Patreon page, free of charge, patreon.com/state of Atlanta. If you comes out delayed, I don't know how much delayed. This is things coming out on Friday. But anyhow, $5 a month. You also get access to our group chat, discounts on merch, and all the fun stuff. Helps us pay for all the hosting fees and stuff for this whole thing. So thanks, everybody, for listening. And we'll talk to you in like, 4 days or something. Say goodbye, Ryan.
Goodbye, Ryan.